I don't know if you guys are tracking the buys at all for Titan X, but what I've noticed is there has been a number of accumulating addresses that I have never seen in Titan X before, and that have like SPX 6900 and all sorts of random tokens that didn't previously really hold Titan X. So I don't really know how to interpret that, but
That's
I
fucking
found that
huge, by the way,
really interesting. Yeah.
because SPX 69 and like Pepe and Mog, like, dude, those are OG Ethereum meme coins. And if people don't think they're gonna freaking run up, dude, like they will. You know, everyone has their time in the sun. And so it's kind of funny. It's like if you add liquidity to like meme coins and Titan X, like bro, like that's gonna draw in volume. Like meme coins have the volume. Tokens like Hex, Titan X, like botted or not botted, have the volume.
Hmm.
It's not like, I don't know, like I mean I know Torus is a little slow right now with the volume, but that's because like the the inflation hasn't come out yet. But man, if people LP, like if those cats like, start LPing their tokens, like it could be pretty crazy. The volume is sick, you know?
100%. I would be really interesting to see if they start LPing. I mean, you see how thick those LPs get for those meme coins when people are when they start cooking, right? I mean, like,
Yeah, look
gets
at Mog,
insane.
look at the volume, look at the liquidity, volume SPX 69. Like gosh, just look at it. It's crazy. It's something to marvel at. Um,
Let's go there right now. SPX. I haven't looked at it in quite a while. Liquidity is 24 million. Volume 4.3 million.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. And people are like, "Oh, high liquidity, no price movement." Like, okay, come on. Like, but with low liquidity, obviously, that those things are rockets. But like,
Oh yeah. Well,
look at
I
Mog.
mean,
Like Mog
first,
goes absurd.
dude, well, just look at like if you look at the numbers. So here's the first thing that jumps out to me. Looking at the numbers on SPX 6900, it is so obvious that there are way the whole market is bringing in different people. Like in Titan X, we have like $100 buys, $200 buys, $1,000 buys, like, and then a really big number will jump out between like 5 and 10K, right? The average number I'm seeing here is like between 2 and 10K, just like the average number. Like it's just like every other one is like 2 or 10K. Then you have like a big 52K sell, and the price moves down like a tiny little bit.
Yeah, that's what it's like when the sexes are involved. You know.
Yep. Yeah. It's just wild to see that, and the price. Like, look, I'm looking at all the red that's in here over the last little while, and especially just for SPX 6900. And given that the price is still pumping, it's like, oh shit, that's crazy.
Dude, all these meme coins are just bull flags on bull flags on bull flags on bull flags. It's just how long is it going to take for it to play out? It's diabolical.
That's a good way of putting it, actually. Yeah, and SPX 6900 is looking like it's want to challenge its all-time high right now. So that's really cool, actually, to see that. And then now that we're talking about this, to go full circle back to that holder I was mentioning, they bought. I think they have like 10K of Titan X now, or 4K or something like that. They just straight up market bought. So
Oh,
pretty
and they're
cool
going
to
to
see
sit on
that.
it. And they're going to sit on it until they make a pretty penny.
Yep.
And everything in between. Like that's, I don't know. That's why it's so important to like, if you're here, because this guy or gal might not be about the community, and that's totally fine. But the way
Mhm.
you, as a community member, profit off of this action is provide liquidity. You earn every, you earn on every buy, sell, and all that jazz, and you earn tokens you want. I'm gonna beat this
Mhm.
drum until you all provide goddamn liquidity. Um, so and it's not without its risks, right? Like tank is the easy mode. It's the easy way out. I'm not the big. I like that it's only one token per second, but it still is like an externality we have to overcome because it's like free, you know, free inflation. You just put your
Mhm.
tokens up, but it's easy mode. And like, I think if you guys are the one doing it, that's awesome. Like, right? Like earn your rewards. Like it's totally fine. You're allowed to do that. Um, and support the community. Like if you want to dump on your friends, go right ahead. Right? Like, but that's what you're doing if you just market sell, right?
Mhm.
You don't like the token. And if you like the token, if you need to take some profit, take your profit. It's okay. Or you could LP, sell your fees, compound your position, buy a different position. You know, there's ways to not crush a chart, you know, but you can't stop everybody. But there's ways to do this. If anyone has questions, please. I can talk all day. So can graphics.
I'm going to back you up on this too. I think liquidity is one game that people are potentially not going to think about until the point where, you know, they realize that they've been missing out on a ton, because like I've been saying, Torus operates in a range, right? Ideally. And as liquidity matures, as the system matures, as the ROIs become more stable, right? The ratio of Torus that it operates in will go from maybe the spread will be like, initially, once we get this first kind of enough supply, or this amount of supply that comes out, we might go, I don't know, maybe we go down to 20 million, 10 million, 5 million, whatever the number is going to be, right? But we're going to have volatility. Let's say maybe to the downside, like 5 to 10 million, all the way back up to like 30 million, then down again. That's a wide range. But over time, what will likely happen is that this range that Torus sits in will be probably like 8 million to like 12 million, right? Or even smaller as the liquidity really matures. And so what this means is, this is like the dream for LP providing. Because if you're providing full range, but only a small part of your range is ever actually earning, I mean, you're not getting the benefit of concentrated liquidity. And what that effectively means as well is, for price stability, if everyone can concentrate their liquidity in like a 12% spread, I mean, my God, that the stability of price off the charts relative to
That
Titan.
that's what's going to be really cool for V4 hooks and stuff like that, when people start diving into that, and hopefully Titan X folks and some of the higher bigger brain people can start to like mess with that. Because I don't know, I'm gonna slowly build like a Dragon X USDC on V4. The pool is like $400, $500 of liquidity, but it still pulls in volume on V4. So it's kind of like, and it was really cheap to put up gas wise. So and also provides a lot of arbitrage for, because Dragon X Titan X, Dragon X WETH, Dragon X USDC. It's like, okay, so if ETH moves, then it's going to raise the price of Dragon X by nature of its Dragon X Titan X and its Dragon X WETH pair. But the one that doesn't move is the Dragon X USDC, because its liquidity is tied direct and its price is determined directly by the USDC it's paired with. So that's why I'm a big proponent of like stablecoin liquidity with tokens you like, because it draws in more arbitrage um, and volume, which benefits all of us.
Could not agree more. I think having a stable coin pair for having like an ARB situation it's like the way to guarantee volume, because you have something that is literally fixed, and any deviation with all the, and if you have two other tokens they're deviating, you know, from each other, and then also from that stable coin pair, I mean, that's like the holy trinity of, you know, getting an LP set up for volume and fees and
Yeah,
arbitrage,
dude.
really.
Once I get more supply and I start like taking a little bit of profit to build the pools, man, like you're gonna see the USDX and Torus pool in 9mm V3. Like you're gonna see it. Um, I don't know if I'll do a V4 pool with Torus or with anything. I don't know quite yet, but um, as far as getting eyeballs on Torus, like you gotta put your tokens places. You can't just sit there and like tweet, retweet, like, yeah, I love it too, like I do it too. Um, but you also gotta just like nudge people, you know. Um, there's profit to be had, people will take it.
That's it, but it does come down to education and people having to understand, because a lot of people haven't really taken these steps to, like, you know, play liquidity games, really test to understand, you know, how to play, how not to play, what is a good opportunity, what is not a good opportunity, when those opportunities arise or kind of fall away. So there is going to be that period of education that we need to bring everyone through, which, you know, I think that's going to be one thing that's cool about Torus and this community that we have here is I mean, look at our conversations that we have every morning. they're highly educative. You know, we're not talking about moon math. We're not talking about, you know, and we can. That's fun to do that. But like most of our conversations are really systemic, really talking about how to operate, how to think, how to use the system better. And well, and that's the whole point of this vision too. For all you guys, for everyone listening, it's like the point of Torus is not to make a quick profit. That's a nice little benefit, right? If you can get in early and you can get 10, 15, 20, 30, 40x, whatever, that's fantastic. But that is not the intended vision for Torus. The intended vision for Torus, like I've said before, is for those who get in early to create, you know, a foundational bag that they can hold on to, leverage, utilize without ever having to sell their golden goose to possibly provide liquidity, to do whatever other opportunities are built on to expand Torus, to leverage and allow people to have a stream of revenue consistently without ever having to sell their principal. And so this is one of the games that is out in the open right now, and that people, and I would implore all of you that maybe don't know liquidity very well so far, to really start to just play with. You know, you don't have to go in and be like, all right, I'm going to take my whole stack out of Torus. I'm going to provide liquidity next time just to see how it goes so I can learn. Like, please, for the love of God, don't do that. Please don't do that. Take like $50. I don't know. Hit something small, 40, $50. Go and play with an LP pool. And even, you know, toss it in one of the pools Amir was just talking about. Maybe it's the Dragon X Wrapped ETH, Dragon X USDC. Maybe it's just Titan X and ETH. Maybe it's Torus Titan X. And just watch, take notes, ask questions. You know, Amir's got a ton of experience. He knows liquidity really well. So even if I'm not here, we got guys in this chat, and Amir's not alone either. There's tons of people in this chat that really get liquidity. So I'd implore you guys to really check it out, really play those games, because there are going to be a lot here. And, you know, not just in the Torus Titan X pool. Like what you're bringing up, Amir, is very, very important to watch those other sub pools, even the smaller ones, like you were saying, because you were saying that even with the Dragon X WETH pool, you were printing pretty well.
Dude, all right, let me go on. Oh, well, I can't exactly, but because I don't have internet or my power, but revert back finance, right? Like when I was checking my Dragon X WETH pool, dude, look at the bid side liquidity on Dragon X WETH is like less than 2 ETH, right? If you dump Dragon X into ETH, like you're gonna crush the price, right? It's so scary for people. But also, if you put your ETH on the bid side, like, yeah, you're going to lose your ETH, but you're going to get Dragon X, right? You're going to get a lot of fees because there's not a lot of liquidity there. If you want Dragon X, that's what you ought to do. Let the price come to you. You know, you do have to watch it here and there a little bit. It is scary, right? Like, oh my God, like, but what if the price doesn't go where I wanted to go? Well, you're already doing that when you buy and sell, right? So you can follow the market if you'd like. I've had my Dragon X WETH range from 4 billion Dragon X to ETH to I think 10 million Dragon X to ETH. So that's a pretty wide range, right? That's gigantic. 4 billion to 10 million. I think at its best, Dragon X hit like, oh gosh, I can't remember. Uh, Graphics, do you mind checking the best Dragon X to ETH ratio? Yeah, I think it was like last August or something.
You gotta revert here. Finance.
Doesn't have to be revert. It could be on deck screener. Can you
Okay.
like view the ETH price in Dragon X?
Let's see here. The Dragon X Wrapped ETH. Uh, 37K in liquidity. Wrapped ETH price is 90576.
Can you flip it into Dragon X price?
Yep. Oh, USD?
No, like you can on deck screener, you can see how much Dragon X per ETH. Like you said, 9 zeros. I want the opposite. I want how many millions of
Oh, I see what
Dragon
you're
X
saying.
per ETH. Yeah.
How do I even do that again? I got to. Oh, I haven't done this in so long. How
Oh
do I
yeah.
flip
Okay.
that around?
You go to. I could do it on my phone actually. I don't know why I asked you to do it. Jesus.
No, it's good. I actually need to remember this because I haven't done it in a long time.
So
But that
Dragon
would.
X ETH pool, so 37K in liquidity. Go to the chart. You go to the chart and the upper right hand corner, the 3 dots, you can invert the pair.
Ah, there we go. Yep, nice.
And then you hit Dragon X instead of USD.
1.73
So
billion.
right, so that's what it is right now. And at its best, it was at like 140 million per Dragon X, right? That's what it's trying
Right.
to say. So my range is, even if Dragon X goes all the way to the tippy top, to its all-time high relative to ETH, I would still have Dragon X left in my LP position because I set the price to 10 million, right? And that's me banking on, oh, I challenge Dragon X to get to that price, right? Like that's kind of what my position is saying. Also, my position is as low as 4 billion, or like that's the minimum price, right? Like, or however you want to say it. Like I'm just saying my price, my LP position ends at 4 billion Dragon X for ETH. And Dragon X has gotten to a point where it was like 5 billion Dragon X2 and ETH, right? Right now it's sitting at 1.73 billion. I still could, the price can drop 50% and I'm still happy. I'm still getting all those fees. And I'm going to be the only one in that pool. I'm going to get all the fees. Could be you right? Like, you want me to, my APR on this position for 90 days is already like, it, see, I wish I had the numbers on me, but I don't. But the P&L, I think, in relative to USD, not relative to ETH, my P&L relative to USD, according to Revert Finance on 90 days, is like 300%.
Bro.
It's fucking nuts, dude. It's like, oh, sorry. It's the P&L is 40% of what I put in. Price appreciation like that fluctuates too. But my fee APR is in like the 300% for this pool. If 300% APR doesn't sound good and you're earning ETH and Dragon X, like, tell me, because I'm happy. So,
Yeah, that's a great place to learn, honestly. Because you will see the volatility, you will see the volume, and you for your $40 or $50 or $100 or whatever you want to throw in just to like get used to it and start learning. I mean,
I would
you'll see
say
some actual
if you want to learn LP, I would probably do it on Pulse Chain or Base because it's a lot cheaper to move around positions. It's still kind
point.
of expensive on ETH. Like you could play around with gas fee settings and stuff like that, but that might be like, I think people just want to click, click, click MetaMask and have it be done for them. So ETH can still be a little expensive. So if you're going to do an Ethereum LP position, I would recommend pairing it with ETH so that you can get ETH gas fees to move your positions around, right? So that's why I'm kind of in the Dragon X ETH pool, because I like Dragon X and I also want gas fees and not have to buy them ever again. I want them to come to me. I would operate with like at least $300, $400 on like a good pair. Because like if you put it in a shitty pair, like I've made mistakes, guys. Like I've made mistakes. I put in, it might be better to put Dragon X Hydra in Tink, right? Like in the Tink farms, if you're gonna use that pair. Because I did Dragon X Hydra by myself with like a decent range. I was relatively concentrated compared to my Dragon X Wheat pool. But that pool gets so little volume and it's in such deep competition with the Titan farms. My APR was probably like 0.5%. So don't do that. That was a mistake. Titan X Hyper is like middle of the road. You're probably still better off in the tank farms because the volume is so low. But the Dragon X Wheat pool is unique because for whatever reason, and trust me, I don't even know the reason, but its volume to liquidity ratio is so much better than the Dragon X Titan X pool. So that's how you can identify. Like if you look at it, it's not a fair standard because Titan X Eco doesn't get as much volume. But if you look at like a meme coin and the volume to liquidity ratio is like 1-to-1, that's a good pool to be in. That's like a good standard, right? Because that means it's like, oh, okay, like 100% of my money is being used, like is one way to think about it, right? Because if the liquidity in a pool is like 100K and the volume is 100K, you can use that analogy that like, oh, all the dollars are being used. Not really, right? But it's like shorthand for that. Does that make sense, graphics? I know I'm talking a mile a minute right now, but I'm just trying to get all the information out there. People will
No,
learn.
you're crushing it, man.
But yeah,
People will
my
absolutely
fee
learn.
APR and Dragon XE, like, yo, I'm telling you guys this alpha right now because I don't care if my fees or volume gets like diluted. Like that means we have more bid side ETH for Dragon X. That means whales who want to leave are more inclined to, oh, there's like liquidity, like take it. I don't care. I want your Dragon X. Give it to me, right? Like, um, people's hesitancy for all this stuff just tells me that they don't actually want the tokens, right? And that's okay. Just be honest about it.
Well, I think I proposed this a while back in the spaces, which I think they're on in about 20 minutes here. So we'll be in here for another 20 minutes, and then we'll migrate over to the spaces for Plan A space. But I proposed this a while ago, and I think there is a specific time when it makes sense to really expand liquidity because liquidity lowest at the bottom equals highest volatility, meaning highest upside, highest downside. If we're already at the downside, means potentially highest upside. So I think that as an ecosystem, as a community, we really have an opportunity to potentially adapt because the ethos is like a big thing, and obviously it's there for a reason. But I think we also have to understand that there's like we can't have anything black and white. There's nuance to everything always, and if we are not aware of that, we potentially cut ourselves off. And I think this whole liquidity conversation is important because I think, and I want to push for people supporting wrapped ETH pairs, USDC pairs, DAI pairs, and USDT pairs, specifically at the top, or where we think the top is getting close. So, and the reason for this, A, is fees, right? It's going to be awesome for LP providers. But B, and this is the most important thing, is the more liquidity we have, the more stability. And so if we have farms, let's say Titan Farms or other farms, or maybe whatever else, whatever other protocol, maybe Bitcoin Genie that is coming in and supporting, incentivizing these pairs of like Titan X to DAI, Titan X USDC, Titan X, blah, 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 Dragon X, WETH, Torus.win, all these other pools. Now we've essentially locked in a new range price, and we won't come down back to this price point ever again. And it'll be an amazing time for fees because usually, obviously, the top is the most volume, most people coming in and out. So fees will be off the charts, and it'll also give us stability as well. So my concern with I would say right now is a great time to learn and play with these pools at the bottom here. But I would also say too, like I would say waiting until we go higher in price to really cram more liquidity in these pools, just for allowing the price to be able to do what it wants to do. Because the heavier we make liquidity down here in wrapped ETH terms and tokens that are really giving this ecosystem its price, those I think are best to be added at the top. So if you're going to add liquidity to one of these pairs, yeah, it is what it is. Do what you're going to do. But just remember that, if it gets too thick, it does start to pull on price a little bit. Just prevent it. It's not like it's not going to be like the end of the world, right? We're so low in relative liquidity terms that, another 10, 15, 20, 100K in another pair really is tiny in comparison to the majority of other tokens. And I should say, I don't really see us getting there. Anyways, I can't see the liquidity games being that popular at these prices that people are really going to want to do that. It'll be more at the top anyways. But Amir, go ahead. I know it sounds like you're going to say something.
Yeah, speaking about following up on your mention of the ethos, I'm going to put it plain and simple. Uh, if y'all keep following the ethos, I'm going to keep profiting more. So that's on y'all if you want to do that, right? Which, by the way, I'm saying it as like a joke, and like I respect the ethos because it's like the audits, the this, the that. But like the single pool pair, it's like, yeah, you guys can all do that. I'm going to take the asymmetric bet over here and earn fees. But it's not even adversarial because I'm providing the bid side liquidity too. So it's like I'm supporting the price this low already and will continue to do so. And everyone is still able to do that. I understand your point and it's good. Yeah, it does mute price. If you guys want an example of what sell walls, I mean, other than morph, right? Because that was Brandon was saying there was something to do with that. I wasn't studying that price. But when I was examining Hyper Titan X, I was looking at the pool, the liquidity position sizes, and like, man, there was a wall on that hyper to Titan X ratio towards the end of its buy and burn being used up. You could see it for yourself if you go on Dex Screener, look at the price of hyper relative to Titan X, and you'll see exactly. And if you turn it to like the 4-hour time frame, you'll see very clearly when that sell wall hits. You'll see very, very clearly. So I don't think, I mean, that can happen. I don't think it'll be very common. Um, but as far as like risk adjusted returns and things like that, I don't exactly like, yes, liquidity will be thickest when the prices are at their highest because everything is very valuable and this and that and this and that. Um, you can, it'll happen. Like the liquidity will peak around then. Like that's kind of just how it goes. Um, but that's also when you're most susceptible to like the dump. So for me, like at least on the Taurus Titan X pair, right? Like I'm gonna set my liquidity on my remaining Titan X. Like I don't have to put the position there now because the ratio is so high up. I'm not providing liquidity from 20 million to 10 million because I don't believe that 20 million for Titan X for me, or 20 million Titan X to Taurus is going to be a good deal for me. Like I'm going to set my liquidity lower to support the price at a lower price, and so that dump is not as bad, right? Because like, what's the point if I provide my liquidity from 50 million to 40 million and it's just eaten right through, right? Like that doesn't help anybody. That just gives the exit liquidity to somebody else. You have to be, you have to take a stab at where you think the price will be. Yes, you will. It's effectively like trading. It's just more forgiving, right? Because it's buying at every price you set at. So be a little daunting, but you guys effectively do the same thing if you're creating staking just to sell later, right? It's just different steps to acquire
Yep.
profit.
Yeah. No, you're bang on with that. And one thing I'll add on the whole ethos thing is the ethos is more is for builders, like 90+%, right? It's so that way things are structured in a way where the majority of liquidity, the majority of the audits, the blah blah blah, like all that stuff is stacked in a way where everyone that's utilizing everything gets the max benefit, gets the most security, all that stuff. Now, you bring up a good point, is that where there are rules, there's opportunity for people that don't want to follow the rules, right? This is just always the case. And because there is crypto in this space, like there are so many ways to utilize and take and find opportunities where others aren't taking advantage. So I mean, it's part of the game. And I would not say for like this is the way I am personally probably going to support liquidity as far as, you know, wanting to see a setup go. What you guys do in the meantime, I mean, if you can make a profit and you guys can make a you guys can find opportunities, then it'd be kind of ridiculous of me to say don't do it, you know, because at the end of the day, if something as small as a $50,000 liquidity pool or $30,000 liquidity pool can do harm to a protocol or a whole ecosystem, I mean, maybe we have bigger issues, you know, at that point, which I don't see that being the point. I mean, it's one thing for me to come out and advocate everyone go and create like Dragon X SPX not 6900 pairs and Dragon X, you know, blah blah blah, like just everyone go to town, like spreading out these liquidity pools. But in the reality, it's more like you guys are going to do what you're going to do. Those pools are going to be there eventually, no matter what. So they're there. And also, you know, I personally think for the benefit of the ecosystem, you know, then liquidity at the top is the best. That's different though than benefit of users making an ROI early on before others get in. You know, it's kind of like being in Taurus early versus being in later. You know, everyone's going to be in ROI is going to be way lower. People are going to be sleeping on it initially. Same. So, yeah, I don't even know what else I can say on that front. But you're right. Yeah, where the ethos is a great thing for builders, and it also provides opportunity. You know, so it's just part of life. And I
Yeah, bro,
think
fertile ground, baby.
exactly. So On that note, though, I want to make sure, because we only have about 15 minutes left before we got to go over to the Planet A Spaces.
Yeah, y'all, I hog the mic. Someone come up, please take it away from me.
No, you're good. Honestly, I love your thoughts. I love how I love what you've been up to, and the fact that you're willing to share all that. And it's awesome, man. So thank you. Thank you
Yeah,
a
guys,
million.
Amir_win. You'll probably see me in the Plan A space too. This is going to be more of my Titan focus Twitter account with like education and all that jazz and retweet chill likes, hype it up and stuff. So follow me or don't really care, but you'll see this profile picture around, swimming around Titan spaces and all that jazz. So you're
Sick. Thanks, man. Yeah, I really appreciate you. Yeah, if anyone, because I got about 15 minutes left here. If anyone's got questions, now's the time to come up and ask them. I think, yeah, we've gone over a ton of liquidity stuff. We talked about the stats early on. Everything's looking great. But yeah, I would love to hear from you guys. If there's anything you're curious about, questions, game theory, you name it.
Hey, Crypto GFRX, great videos. If we're trying to get in the Torus ecosystem now, what's the best way to do it to get the most Torus right now? I'm not in it yet, but I'm looking at it pretty hard.
Great. Yeah, well, great. I was wondering if I'd seen your name before, and I think you must have just joined the Telegram in the last day or two, I'm assuming.
Just about a few minutes ago.
Oh, great. Well, man, welcome. Glad to have you here. And so the way I can answer your question is, yeah, if we're talking about profitability, what's the highest ROI? I can't answer that. But what I can tell you is, if you're following the system in terms of its ROIs, that's typically showcasing that you're going to get the most shares per dollar coming in the system. Therefore, you're going to earn the most. So if we go to the DApp right now and we look at the creation versus the staking, are not the ROIs, but even just the amount that you're bringing into the system versus the amount of Torus that you're going to create, earn, or stake and earn, it's just completely out of balance in favor of creating right now. So if you bring in $1,800, you're going to get, as a guarantee, 981.74 Torus, and then you're going to earn a bunch, but you're going to get 7.6 million shares, right? That's the big thing. Your earning capacity is in the shares. So 7.6 million is what you get for $1,800 by creating right now. If you stake for $1,800, let's try, maybe it's 200 Torus. Yeah. So if you want to stake 200 Torus, that's going to cost you $1,800, and you're only going to get 1.55 million shares. So you're going to get like 1/6, 1/5 of the shares, basically, with that same $1,800. So right now, creating is far overperforming on the earning capacity side, and that's going to swing back and forth. These ROIs change, but right now, creating is for earning capacity alone is like almost 4 or 5 times higher per dollar.
Appreciate that, bro.
Yeah, no problem. And that's always in the DApp too. So yeah, if you go into the Torus DApp, you can play with that at any given point. You can just load it up, see what the creating is looking like per dollar, and then you go over to the staking side, and you just kind of have to play with the Torus amount on the staking side to figure out how much the same amount that you're depositing on the creation side is. So if it's $1,800, you kind of have to do some quick math. Say, okay, stake Torus is worth $9,200. Maybe I'll divide it by 4, and I'll just see what happens, or 4.5. And you'll eventually get there, and you can see that. But this is the way you actually want to do it each time, to see what the earning capacity is on any given moment.
Is the creating time infinite? I mean, is this going to go on continuous, or does it end at some point?
The creating action is always available, same as the staking action, and both are available to create or stake maximum for 88 days. The system may, though, eventually end up where it's maybe majority in the staking zone, so to speak, where staking is more profitable than creating, even if it's by a little bit. But they'll always be operational. Is that what you're asking?
Yes. I mean, is there an end date on the creating, when you can start creating?
No, those will always be there. It's more just it may not get used at some point if the price stays below a certain ratio as time goes on, because there's that baseline, we'll say a crossover point, right? Where as price dips for Torus, now the the ROI for creating goes lower than the staking ROI. And if the price, well, actually, one thing I'll back up here. That ratio, that crossover point, because of the difficulty in the system, that crossover point is always creeping up little by little every single day and getting a little bit more expensive in Titan X terms, which means that the crossover point's always rising a little bit. And so if the price relative to Titan X, the Titan X Torus ratio on the chart is going up, but it's staying below that number, we're typically not going to see creations, be viable. Most people are going to just stake because you're going to get more shares. In the same way you're getting more shares for creating now, it'll be the opposite, where now staking is giving you more shares for the same amount of economic energy coming in the system. And then creation effectively would be like shut down only because people just aren't using it. But those actions are never turned off, and people can always create in the future if it ever makes sense.
Gotcha. Appreciate it.
No problem. Anytime. Glad to have you here. How's everyone else doing, though? Would love to hear from you guys if you have any other questions. See a lot of familiar faces, which is great. Love that we have like a nice little consistent morning chat, and I see all you guys here. So and you guys just get Torus, I guess, which is great. That's cool. Well, maybe what I'll do, if no one else has any questions, then I guess maybe we could wrap it up a little early and start getting ourselves over. Let me see if the spaces is up on X right now.
It is.
Oh, yep, it is. It's definitely up. Well, why don't we wrap up here? And why don't we all jump over to the Build on Titan X space with Plan A? I'll put a link in the chat here, although Plan A had one in there this morning. I'll just copy that and put it in there one more time. So I'll be heading over there. So yeah, if you guys want to join me, that'd be fantastic. If not, have a wonderful Sunday. And we'll see you guys again in here, same time, same place, 8 a.m. PST, Monday through Friday. Yeah, enjoy your weekends, everyone.
Appreciate you.
You too, man. Take care, everyone.